Good afternoon, card community. It is RJ, and it is time for the Sunday Trivia Recap. All right, as you can see, I'm in a bit of a different setting this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. My baseball studio is being occupied by a guest this weekend, so I had to vacate my limited man space and come over here to a different setting to film the video. So that's why it looks a little different in the background. That's why everything looks a little different. So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about me. Um, Last week, I had some great trivia and some great prizes we're going to give away today. We got a lot more of the same coming up, so check those out. But Monday's trivia question. This week, this month is all about preseason trades, free agent signings, all the fun stuff that keeps people going from one team to another in the off season, keeps us all excited about baseball during what is known as the hot stove league a lot of times. So, first question on Monday. Nolan Ryan went from the New York Mets to the California Angels. How was that accomplished? Now, Baseball Reference has a fantastic section on every player called transactions. And if you, at the top of the page, you can choose transactions, and then you can scroll down. It'll take you down to this point. The tab transactions will take you down to this thing where it actually says every transaction that ever happened will be listed, and it'll tell you what occurred. So, in the Mets, for the Mets, you can see there Nolan Ryan was traded on December the 10th, 1971, from the New York Mets, along with Frank Estrada, Don Rose, and Leroy Stanton. So it was a four-player deal. Nolan Ryan was just one of four. Sent to the California Angels for all-star third baseman Jim Fregosi, who promptly broke his hand early in the season in 1972 and made this trade one of the biggest busts of all time. I mean, Fregosi was a high-quality, high-caliber player at the time, all-star, considered a very good player. It was not a bad trade for anybody. But it ended up being a historic one-sider, so to speak. So that is the answer. Most people do is um, Ryan for Fregosi, but most people don't bother including the other three individuals. They're really very little part of the story. So anyway, what you are playing for is a 1983 Fleer stamp of Nolan Ryan. This one just happens to have Alan Ashby attached to it. I own the full set of I think it's like 272. I'm not sure exactly. It's 4 panels, I think, of 72 stamps sold separately in packages. I don't know. I own the whole set, of course, but this is your Nolan Ryan stamp out of that product from 1983. They're very inexpensive if you all want to get your own, so feel free. So the individuals up on the screen here were kind enough to throw out a guess. I will scroll down so you can take time to make sure your name got added. Pretty much all the normal players today. Nobody new to brag about just yet. So we will shuffle once as we are required to do, and we will spin. You must hit 3 times, 3 times on my channel in order to win the prize. I do that because I want to give everybody more of a chance. I always hate those one spin and done contests. They're necessary when you have 1,000 people entering your contests. But since I only have, about 15, I'm up to about 15 a week, or 15 at entry these days. So it's manageable and I can do it so that more people get a chance. So we will spin. Good luck to everybody on this one. Oh. So I'm excited about what I'm going to show off this week. I had mentioned earlier, or I had mentioned last week that I had participated in a heritage auction, an online auction of sports cards. It wasn't that I've wanted to do that for a while. I had wanted to do it. The problem that I experience online is I do most of my stuff with my phone. Obviously, this is kind of like an anomaly. I'm using this computer here, but I can't film on my phone and display the spinner wheel at the same time unless I use a computer for that. But I do most of my computering on the phone when I'm at the house. If I'm at work, sure, I'll pay the bills using the company computer. I'll check the weather, check my banking from the company computer, but I don't use a computer at the home typically. And the reason I say that is because when you're doing an auction, I mean these auctions have thousands of different items up for auction, and it's difficult for me to go through every single one in any meaningful manner to even determine if I want to bid on it. I've realized that's always been a problem for me in the past when I'm doing it. When I've gone to the auction sites and considered doing it, I didn't want to miss anything. I wanted to make sure I went through the whole thing first and then decided on the best items to make a bid for. Well, I know in this particular auction I didn't go through everything. I went through a lot. Oop, that's Jesse. Jesse over Bears Baseball Cards. You're going to get this fantastic Nolan Ryan stamp. That'll be coming your way soon. Congrats to you, sir. Okay, moving on to Wednesday. There's Wednesday. Wednesday's question. Willie Mays. Willie Mays was with the New York/San Francisco Giants pretty much his whole career until the end of his career when he spent a season with the Mets. So I said, okay, Willie Mays, how was he obtained by the Mets? And again, go to Baseball Reference, the transaction page. So on May 11th of 1972, now this is something I wasn't aware of. I thought it happened in the off season. I thought that Willie Mays spent only one full season with the Mets. That's my error in baseball history that I'm glad I obtained. But no, it was on May 11th, 1972. The San Francisco Giants traded Willie Mays to the New York Mets for a guy named Charlie Williams and $50,000. So really, they bought Willie Mays for 50 grand. The Mets did. They sent 50 grand to the Giants and some guy named Charlie Williams. I don't even know who Charlie. I didn't look up Charlie Williams. I didn't know if he's any good or don't even know what position he played. Sorry. But that's what the New York Mets gave up to get Willie Mays. Charlie Williams at 50 grand. So I thought it was in the off season, but no, apparently he spent parts of two seasons with the Mets, 72 and 73. He was with the Mets in 73 because he was part of the World Series against the Oakland Athletics that year. So anyway, so that's the answer. The prize you are playing for from 1996, a Willie Mays reprint card from Topps. This is part of the Topps base set. It was an insert featuring different cards of Willie Mays' career reprinted with a little gold foil. And this is the 1961, excuse me, I'm sorry, no, that's the 1960 All-Star card, I believe. I believe this is from 1960 reprint. Anyway, that is your prize for that question. And going back to the wheel, the individuals here on the screen were kind enough to throw out a guess, and I do like to highlight anybody new who throws out a guess. So we are in rarefied company today because Mike Moynihan, baseball collector, threw out a guess for this question. Now, I assume, he got lost looking for some better channel than mine, stumbled upon here and knew the answer, so he threw out the answer. But, Welcome, Mr. Moynihan. Thanks to Baseball Collector for taking the time to join in the fun here. Hope to see you again. So again, we will shuffle once and spin, but first, Jesse, you are out. You can only win once a week on my channel to spread the wealth around. So Jesse is out, and we will spin. And good luck to everybody on this one. So, as I was saying about the auction, there's always so much to look at, and I always wanted to look at all the items before I decided what to bid on. Well, in this case, I didn't. I found two things that were really cool, and I thought to myself, gee, I could probably get this for a good price. I actually bid on three things I had mentioned. One was a Ty Cobb stamp. Wow, two people, Basement Collector, Card Collector, and Shaw got two right out the gate. Nobody else got nothing. Uh-oh. But there was a Ty Cobb stamp from like the teens, I think, and that was going for a couple hundred at the time. And I just assumed it would go up, so I think I put a bid down for $500. It ended up going for like $1,200 or something like that, something crazy. But I just wanted to like have the joy of throwing down a bid. Sometimes you go to an auction, you'll bid on something is going to go for a ton of money just to say you actually participated in the auction. So that was my bid on the Ty Cobb item. The other two items, though, they're ones some of them are going to show off. One of them I really wanted. So the one that I really wanted, I put in a strong bid, and I ended up getting it. I'm very excited to show off that. I'll be showing that off later this week, so stop by. I think I'll post that video on I think that's going to be my Friday video, the auction win, so check that out. But I really wanted that item, and I'll show it off to you. I'm going to try. It's a little teaser here. The other one was something it was kind of cool, but I just like the Ty Cobb stamp. I think the Heritage Auctions, the way they do it is they list what they expect it to go for, anticipated bid, and they list the price that they expect it to go for, and then 9 times out of 10 it goes for more. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think it's about 50-50. About half the time it goes for more than they expected, and the other half it goes for a little less than they expected. Baseball Collector, Mike's on the board. That's his first. This one, I just knew. I knew it was going to go for much more than it was listed, than the estimated bid. It was such a great card. It was a PSA 8 of a card from 1913. So, I think Hunter. All right, sorry, Mike. Hunter Boucher. I'm not sure if it's Boucher or Boucher. I'll just say Boucher because I know a person with a name similar to that, and it's pronounced Boucher, like French. But Hunter, you're going to get that awesome card. We'll finish the story in a second. We're going to move on to Friday. Friday's question, Golden Ryan. I said, I'm sorry, not Nolan Ryan. Steve Carlton. Towards the middle of, I think it was either 85 or 86, might have been 84. The Phillies parted ways with Steve Carlton. How did they part ways with Steve Carlton? Was he signed to another team, free agent, trade? Did they just cut him outright? I mean, what was it? How did the Phillies part ways with Steve Carlton? Here it is, June 24th, 1986. The Phillies flat out released him. I imagine he wasn't doing so well by this time in his career. And if you look at the rest of his career, it's a series of jumps to a bunch of different teams. We let him go. He was signed about a week later by the Giants. And then just about a month later, the Giants let him go. And he signed on with the White Sox. He was with the White Sox for the rest of the year in 1986, and then in 87, the Cleveland Indians picked him up. And then at the trade deadline, the Indians sent him to the Twins. And he was with the Twins in 87 during their run to the World Series I assume he got a ring. I don't think he participated in the World Series with the Twins at all, but he was on the team, and um, so he was with them. He got released at the end of the season by the Twins, but in the preseason of '88, he was picked up again by the Twins, and they gave him his outright release again. He didn't retire. You can see here he was released in '88. Early in spring. I don't think he even played. Yep, he did. He pitched. What is it? He was 0-1. Was it 4 games? Let's see. Just trying to learn a little bit more. How many games did he pitch? Games. It was he pitched in 4 games with the Twins in '88 with a 16.76 ERA, and he was 0-1. So that was the end of Steve Carlton's career, unfortunately. But again, he is a Hall of Famer, a legendary player, one of those guys who hung on a little too long, probably. Anyway, so Steve Carlton was flat out released by the Phillies in 1986. That is the answer. Everybody up here on the screen was kind enough to throw out a guess. Shout out to Mike over at the Hot Corner. I think he only joins the trivia question when there's a Phillies question. I'm noticing a trend with you, Mike. As long as there's a Phillies question, you'll chime in. Just a interesting thing. I'm chuckling. So, everybody else in here was kind of throw out a guess. We shuffle once and spin. Who is out? Bear, you are out. Where's Bear's baseball cards? I know you were here. And who just won? Hunter Butcher is out. You're here. I knew you were there. So these 2 guys were out. So good luck to everybody who's left. So you see, the one item I got, I bid strong and I wanted it. The other one, I bid at the at the amount where they said this is what it's going to go for. I said, no way is it going to go for that much. No way. It's a PSA 8 of a card from 1913. That's what it is. Well, I got it. I did not want to spend the price tag I did when I bid. I just assumed it was going to go for a lot more. It didn't. It actually went for a little less. It was not a comic card. I have not yet, still to this day, spent $1,000 or more for any card, at least not in price. One card I did buy not too long ago topped that number when you add in tax and shipping, but the actual price of the card itself did not reach that number. Yeah, so I'm very excited about these 2 items that I got in a Heritage auction recently. I'm definitely going to want to participate in a couple more auctions. The thing about auctions, though, is a lot of times in some of the things I would get in an auction, I'm trying to get items that are things I can afford, and a lot of times that's low quality. Like I'm looking for PSA 1s in my E95 caramel collection I'm trying to accumulate. I'm looking for PSA 1s and 2s, something like keep the price down to under $500. But a lot of times the auction sites, what they have, because again, they're auctions, they're trying to sell things that people want to buy. You're looking at PSA 5s, 6s, 7s, even on these high-end expensive things, and I just can't afford it, so we'll see. Anyway, that was the end. The auction, Jerry McMichaels won. I don't think I showed the card, but the card for that one is this awesome 1984 Fleer, Steve Carlton, really in good shape. There's not a lot wrong with this card. The centering is spot on. The corners look really crisp and sharp, so this might be one you want to get slabbed there, Jeremy. All right, so that is the end of trivia for this week. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. Do come back for my videos next week. Like I said, one of the things I'll be showing off is the Heritage auction wins that I picked up. All right, so that's all I have for you this week. Enjoy your week. Hope you did. Hope you will. Super Bowl Sunday tonight. I don't have a dog in the fight, don't care, but it's a tradition that I have. That I always go to my best friend. We've been doing it for, gosh, nearly 30 years now. I go over to his place and hang out with his dad and brother, and we watch the Super Bowl together. So I hope you all have a great time doing that as you see fit, and I'll see you next week. Take care.